Hello students, I want to thank everybody for watching this video, and also if you would please click on the like button below this video so that it gets shared out to more students. Okay, what we're going to do is this is another certification video, Revit user certification level, and again we're not sponsored by Autodesk. I just do this on my own and for my high school students, but we're going to do this right here. We're just going to work with some columns, and we're going to learn how to create the columns and modify those columns. Okay, now I'm going to start a new project, and I want to choose the Imperial Architectural template and click OK. All right, and what I'm going to do first is save it, and I'm going to save it with my first name, underscore, and the assignment name, just call it column. And now we're going to draw a structure. We're just going to use the generic 8-inch walls that just pop up when you click on walls, and just make that 50 by 30. And of course, we're going to put a roof on it as well. So we're going to place a roof on top of the structure. We're going to go to level 2 because you're going to have to go to level 2 to see it. I mean, you can actually go ahead and click on the roof tool. It says to place it on level 2. Yes. Now you're going to come over here and go to level 2 so you can actually see the roof when you're done. We're going to go to the type selector, and we're going to choose the wood rafter 8-inch roof. Then set your offset to just 1 foot. Will be fine. That'll be 1 foot all the way around. And we're just going to pick walls and just go all the way around and place a roof. We're going to leave it at the same pitch that it currently is, the 9/12. And then we're going to hit the green check mark. And do we want the walls to attach? Yes. All right, so there we go. We have a roof. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a second roof. And we're going to put it right here on the south side. This would be the front of the house. So I'm going to click Create a Roof using the same roof type. I'm going to remove the offset, and it's just going to be a 0 offset. Okay. I'm going to use the line tool instead of the pick walls tool. I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm going to use the roof itself, the previous roof, as a guide, and drawing it from one side to the next. And then I'm going to extend it out 4 feet. Come back all the way across and just close up the shape. We must remove the slope from the rear part of this roof. So we're just going to click on that line to activate it, and then go up here and click Define Slope to turn that off. On the front line of the new roof, we're going to change the pitch, and you can do that here, or you can do it right over here. And we're just going to change that to 4 inches over 12 inches. And we're going to leave the sides the same. The sides are going to remain at their normal pitch, their default pitch. Click the green check mark. Now we have to do some leveling to our roof. So to get a good view of our roof, we're going to go to a 3D view. So go ahead and create a 3D view. And then you want to come over here to the cube and click on the right panel to get a straight on right view. Click on the new roof. Using your arrow keys, you're going to drop it down till the bottom line is perfectly even with the previous roof. Just click on the roof and level it down just like that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to join this new roof to the previous roof. To do that, we're going to go up to this tool right here in the panel, and we're in the Modify tab. Go up here to this the geometry panel and click on Join Unjoin Roof. So after I click on that, I click on this top line of the new roof, and then I click on the plane, that south-facing plane of the previous roof, and it makes a joint right there. Okay, so nice and pretty there. All right, so now what we want to do is place some columns, and we're going to go back up to level 2 so we can see everything. We can see the roof and all. We're going to go to the Architecture tab, and we're going to go to Columns. We're going to make sure that we choose the architectural column. If we choose a structural column, it puts them below ground, and we have to do a little bit more editing, or not much, but just a little bit more to get them up above ground. But we're going to go ahead and click on the architectural column. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place this first column. Let's see. Yeah, we're not going to adjust anything yet, but just kind of zoom into this corner of the porch, and you're placing the column. Just get it like an even distribution away from the sides, okay, from the sides of the new roof, from the edges, okay. And then I'm going to hit the escape tool. I'm going to pick that column again. Now there's some more editing that you can do to this column. If you click on the type selector, you can change the column size. We're going to go ahead and click on an 18 by 18. You can also go to insert and load some more families with load family and get more families of columns loaded into your project. You can also go to edit type, click on edit type, and in here you can change the graphics, you can change the material. If you wanted to change the material to concrete or whatever you wanted to change it to, you could do that. You can also change the overall dimensions. Right now we're 18 by 18, so I actually could just duplicate this and make it a 12 by 12 by changing these figures right here. We're just going to keep it like it is, okay? As you see, it shrunk up a little bit because it's 18 by 18 now, and it's also a little bit further offset from the edges, which is perfectly fine too. Now to place several columns, we want columns going all the way across the front. Now if this was a normal project and we had a front door on there, we would actually place our columns by the front door first, kind of framing in the front entryway with some columns that are offset of about 7 to 8 feet apart. And then the columns on the right and the left of that, we would probably place at a little bit closer distance apart. And then, go ahead and fill in our space. But here we're just doing columns all across the front, and that is it. So I'm going to go back to the modify panel, actually. And I'm going to choose the array tool. Or actually, now that I'm in this part, there's one other thing I was about to skip over, but I'm not going to skip over it because I'm going to show you when I first placed the column, it did not give me the option to change those column options right over here. So I had to place that column first. And then I come over here and I'm changing some of the properties of this. Right now, the base level is at level 2, which means my column is up in the air. I want to change that to level 1. And I'm going to come over here to top level and change that to level 2. Well, it's already level 2, but I'm going to remove the top offset, make that 0, and then apply. Okay, so we should end up with base level, level 1, top level, level 2. All right, and our column is still over here. It's still selected, so we're good. Now we're going to the array tool. Click on the array tool right here. I'm just going to use a linear array, group and associate, yes. Leave this number as 2 for right now, and go ahead and click the last radial button where it says last, okay, because we're going to move the next copy all the way over here to the other end and line it up just the way this one is. So I'm going to find the very center of this column. You'll know that when you get the triangle, and you'll click on that, and then you'll start to move it and kind of look at how those dotted lines are around this original column. And when we come over here, we want to align it just like that is. So those dotted lines are just barely sticking over the edge on both sides. And that way we will get our column equally aligned, if it will allow me to do that. Okay, I'm looking at the inside set of dotted lines. So we need to go off of the inside set, okay, and set it up very similar to what that is, which is right here. Okay, so now I've got 2 columns. Now, if you look in right up here above that first column, it has a number. That's the original 2 that we set, or that we left set like it was. Now I can actually type in the maximum number of columns that I want. So I can type in 8 and hit enter, and it gives me 8 evenly spaced columns. Now, I can still change that right here just by clicking on that 8. I can actually change it to 10. And now I've got 10 evenly spaced columns. If you click off of it and it disappears, that's perfectly fine again, because you can still go over here and click on it. And then that number, that array line shows up with that number above it, and you can change it. So let's change it to 7. So now we've got 7 columns. Finally, what you want to do is go and check your work to make sure everything is just right. We're going to go to the south elevation right over here in the project browser. And everything looks very good. So if you have a problem and your columns are too long, maybe they're sticking up through the roof, and that's probably going to be because of your properties. I'll show you this other way that you can adjust them that I know works, okay? But double click on it, then you get into this edit mode right here. Now click on that column. Now, of course, they give us the level 1 and level 2, but according to what I'm seeing right here, we cannot actually change the level, but we can change the offset. Okay, we can change the offset, so we can do a top offset of, well, let's just say 2 feet if we needed to. Hit apply. Now you can see the column is sticking up through the roof, which we really don't want. I'm just showing showing you that you can edit it from over here. And then once you click finish, all the rest of them will copy it. All the rest of them that are associated with that array will copy it. So that is how you place and modify. Let's go ahead and take that column and change it back. Go ahead and take off that. Finish. Now they're all back to the same height. All right, so if you have any questions, just if you're in my class, please email me. If you're not in my class watching this video, just leave a message in the message box. I too would appreciate it if you would click on that like button below the video so more people can actually see this.